Hello everyone! Take a look at this puzzle here. We have a rook against two pawns and they're going in this direction. So black is very close to promoting here, but white can win this. There is one line that wins. Pause the video and try to find it, and then come back when you want to see the solution. Best of luck! Okay, so we cannot play rook to a5 check as a first move because black will just play the king out, and we have not made any progress with stopping these pawns from marching. So we have to find something better. If we try to look at rook to d1 to stop the pawns from reaching the promotion squares, if black plays g2 here, we will play rook to g1. And black cannot play h2 here, because then we will take on g2. So black will move the king closer to the pawns, and white can try to stop that by playing king to d3, taking away the c2 square from the black king. But here black has king to b3, and now black is actually threatening h2. And there's no progress here for white. If we play rook to b1, then black will just have king to a2, the rook will have to go back to g1, and yeah, there is just no progress made for white here. So instead, the first winning move is to play rook to d2 check. And here, if black goes to a1 with the king, then we win very easily by playing king to b3, and we have a mate in 1, no matter what black does here. And if black plays king to a3, then we just play rook to d3, and we will take the pawns. So black has to go to b1. And here we win by playing king to c3. We don't play king to d3 here, trying to get to the pawns immediately, because after h2, rook to d1, king to b2, and then we're stuck in a similar position as before. Black cannot play g2 here, because then we will take the h2 pawn, but black will play king to b3, and we have to check. And yeah, we've seen this before. Black is threatening g2. So that's a draw. Instead, we have to play king to c3 here. And the reason is, if black plays g2 or h2 here, doesn't matter which one, then after rook to d1, black does not have king to b2 anymore. So black has to go to a2, and then we play rook to h1, and here black has two options, either go g2 or king to a3. If black goes king to a3, well, that's a mate. And if black goes g2, then we will just take the pawn on h2, and we will win. So that is why king to c3 is the winning move. So here black will instead play king to c1, and we will play rook to a2, threatening mate on a1. And black has moved the king again. If black goes back to b1, then we can just play rook to e2 this time, because black doesn't have the king on c1 to go to d1 with. So if black goes to c1, then there's a mate here. And if black goes to a1, well, then we just play king to b3 again, and we are threatening mate. If black moves the pawn, g2 or h2, doesn't matter, we play rook to e1, king a2, and then rook to g1. I mean, we've seen this before. Either black goes to a3, where we will have a mate in 1, or black will play h2, and we will take the pawn. So instead of playing king to b1, black will play king to d1. And here we will just play king to d3. We are now advancing the king towards the pawns, while also threatening checkmate on a1. So black cannot move any of the pawns, because that would be mate. If black continues to go towards the king side, then we will just move our king and we will win like this. And if black plays g2, then that's a mate, so black will have to move the king, so we will take the pawns and win. So instead, if black plays the king back to d1, then we will just play king to f3, and we will take the pawns. And if black goes back to c1 instead of going to e1, then we will also just move our king closer to the pawns. And if black tries to threaten our rook with king to b1, then we can just play rook to e2 here. And our king is now close enough for the pawns. If black plays h2, we will have rook to e1, check, king to c2, and yeah, we can just play king to f3 and start grabbing the pawns, and we will win. Okay, so instead, what happens if after king to e3, if black starts pushing in on the pawns like g2, then we can just play king to f2 because our king is now close enough to stop these pawns. And it doesn't matter what black does here. Yeah, we will take all of the pawns here, and we will win. Okay, and yeah, same thing if black goes with the h pawn instead. We can just play rook to a1 now, check, and then cover that. So if black plays g2 here, then we'll just take. Okay, so let's go through this variation again. The first move was to play rook to d2 check, and after king to b1, the winning move was to play king to c3 to take away the b2 square from the black king. And if black plays king to c1, then we have rook to a2, threatening mate. And if black continues with king to d1, then we just start moving our king closer to the pawns here now. And yeah, if king to c1, then we just play king to e3. If black plays king to b1, then we had rook to e2, and now the white king is close enough for the pawns. If black instead start pushing in on the pawns, then we have, for example, here rook to a1 check, and yeah, we are in control. The pawn is pinned here, and white wins. So if you found any of this, if you found rook to d2 or king to c3 or rook to a2, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next puzzle. Have a nice day. Bye.